so I'm back at it with balling out on a budget. That's right, for a family of 4, let's cut the meals, make sure that we're coming in under that nice little budget and not gonna break the piggy bank, and everyone's gonna have their bellies full for the evening. So today's recipe, we are gonna be doing a little bit of beef stew. So let's break down the numbers. First up, we got store brand beef broth coming in at $2.09. I'm going to use the whole container. That's right. Next up, we got store brand classic onion soup mix. I'm only using 1 pack. There's 2 in here. Okay, $1.69. If you break that into half, you're only coming out to 84 cents per pack, and you still got a pack left over. All right, so next up on my list is these little tiny taters. Now, these were probably the most expensive thing, believe it or not, on my list at $5.99. Now, I could have gotten a bigger 5-pound bag of jumbo-sized potatoes, but I was just trying to go for a little bit of convenience. And this right here, a little bit of taters cost me $5.99. But I'm going to cut them in half or in quarters so you maximize my amount that I got going on here. Next up, I got these Fresh House baby carrots right here, okay? This was $1.97 for a 2-pound bag. That's right. Getting swole lifting the carrots. All right, now, I am not going to use this entire bag. And for $1.97, I'm probably going to use only like yay much in here. I may even cut the carrots in half to even, again, maximize the amount of carrots that I put in there. But I'm not going to use this whole bag. And I didn't break that down because I wasn't about to break all that down. But there you go. For $1.97 right there. Not going to use it. And we're going to have plenty of carrots for the rest of the week. Next up, we have the meat. The beef meat. Now, one would think that this would be the most expensive, but at the grocery store I was shopping at today, which is called Tops, okay, local little tiny place, okay, I ended up getting a 5 for $24 mix and match deal, so I saved a little bit there. This one was $5.66, but with the mix and match, I got this for $5, and then this one was $5.75, and again, I got this for $5 because of the mix and match deal, and I did end up buying 5 different things, so that was a fairly good deal. And the poundage on this was 0.63 and 0.64. So now we're going to put it all in together. Therefore, bringing my total for the meal today, not dividing it by 4, but just the overall total cost was $20.90 because I decided to subtract that 84 cents because I only used that 1 packet. But I decided to add the entire amount of the bag of carrots. So if I was to kind of cut back on that carrots, it would be below $20 for today's meal. So we got our 2 packs of beef stew meat going in here. Here we go. 2 packs of stew meat. Now, I had already added the beef broth in there, okay? So that has been added. And I also added some of that in there with that 1 packet. As we can see over here, this is the amount of carrots that I'm going to be putting in. Voila. Just like that. Okay, I'm going to cut these in half, though. Alright, so there you have it. All my cut up carrots. They're going right in. Alright, just going to... Don't want that, a little piece of hair there. All my carrots, they're going in. Like I said, I cut these up just to kind of maximize the percent that's in there. So you could add the whole carrot in there if you wanted, but I feel like cutting it up gives you that little bit of extra stretch, makes it look like you're getting a little bit more. All right, so next up is my $5.99 freaking tiny potatoes here. I can't believe this cost $5.99. This was outrageous. This should be $2.99 at best, but I'm going to cut all these up. First, I'm going to wash it, and then I'm going to throw it in there. All right, so there you have it. I cut up all those little potatoes. Now I'm going to I said, some of them I cut in half, some I cut into quarters, just on the size, depending on the size of it. But for the most part, that's what you're going to get right there. And I feel like by cutting it up, again, you kind of maximize your taters a little bit. There we go. Mush that around a little bit. Give it a little shake. Give it a little shimmy. And then I'm going to put the cover on it. I'm going to put this on high. And now that's going to just cook until it's dinner time. So the prep on this was pretty easy. I mean, that was probably 10 to 12 minutes worth of preparation. And look at this, an entire crock pot full of food. So when we even break this down even more, so like I said, this is a $20.90 overall total. Now, if we are going to break this down per person, okay, you're coming in at about $5.22 per person to have this beef stew meal, which is a very reasonable price, and you may even have leftovers over afterwards. So if somebody needs a lunch for the next day, they got a little bit of leftover dinner beef stew from the night before for dinner. So that's the breakdown of that. So I think that's pretty decent price. Like I said, but those potatoes you probably find a little bit cheaper, smaller potatoes, maybe a place like Walmart. I know the Trader Joe's is kind of pricey, but Aldi's, we don't really have an Aldi's. So Walmart would probably be our best bet for me to find something that's a little bit cheaper. All right, so now we're just gonna have to wait until all the magic happens and all the cooking happens, and then we'll get our final product. Oh yeah, look at that. Beef stew balling out on a budget, baby. Ooh, that looked good. All right, folks, so there you have it. Yes, don't let your eyes deceive you. I did shave off my beard in between while waiting for this to cook. But look at that. Ooh, potatoes, carrots, the beef. And again, $5.22 per person breakdown from that $20.90 meal. That's this right here. If you're going to break it down, and there's going to be more. People will be able to have seconds and maybe even leftovers for lunch. Oh, that's tender. Look at that potato. Flavor absorbed right on through. We got our carrot. This is a hearty, good, easy, simple meal. And even if you don't have a crock pot, all you need is just the stovetop, right? And at least a somewhat of a decent size pan to cook this in on the stovetop. But if you got a crock pot, what an easy meal. Look at that. Fantastic. That's great. Anyway, give me one of your cheap meal recipes. Comment below, and maybe I'll try it out sometime, and we'll break down the price. All right, take care. Look at that. One more for the camera. Ooh.